The Bangladesh furor over the fact that Mustafizur Rahman was released from the IPL side Kolkata Knight Riders has reached a point whereby they have, in essence, threatened to not play in the T20 World Cup and want their matches shifted out of India. Well, this is obviously not an ideal situation. By and large, the voices coming out of Bangladesh have been consistent in claiming that this is something that is being done not only for their own security, but also the national pride. And that part is an important aspect of looking at it because, again, the feeling there is that Mustafizur has basically been discriminated against due to political tensions that are existing between the two nations right now. However, one person who has come out and basically tried to straddle something of a middle line and appeal for better sense to prevail, asking the Bangladesh Cricket Board to ensure that they know the future implications of whatever it is they are doing right now, is former Bangladesh skipper Tamim Iqbal. Now, of course, Tamim was the skipper of the side right up till very recently in 2023. And his opinions on this do seem to be leaning more towards resolving matters in an amicable manner as opposed to the hardline stance that the Bangladesh Cricket Board, by extension of the government, has taken right now. Let's take a look at what it is that he had to say. He said that public opinion will always vary, but if you start making decisions based on all that, you cannot run such a big organization. And again, he's not entirely wrong. And this is something of an issue that has been seen on both sides. After all, lest we forget, the main reason that Mustafizur Rahman was released by KKR in the first place was due to public pressure and the fact that the BCCI chose to actually listen to that and act in accordance of that. He's telling the Bangladesh Cricket Board, the Bangladesh government, and even the people of Bangladesh that, listen, calls can't be taken around what you're feeling at that point in time. You have to look at the bigger picture. He goes one step further and says that I only hope that Bangladesh cricket's interests are prioritized above everything else and that the future is carefully considered. And this part's very important because, again, let's assume for 1 second that Bangladesh get their wish. What then? Then it will very much open the floodgates even more for other teams who, if they have problems, they know they can just make demands to the ICC and get them. However, if their demand is turned down and they then choose to not play in the World Cup, what does that mean for their future? Are they in danger of having their membership revoked? Will they be actually banned by the ICC? Will they be barred from playing certain tournaments? What exactly is the deal there? It will in fact become very, very messy. And just as KKR releasing Fizz had unintended consequences and unforeseen consequences, this could very much have the same decision as well. And in case you're wondering where it is that Tamim stands with regards to this entire thing, he offers a little bit of a hint in this very interaction when he spoke about how dialogue can be very, very important. This is what he had to say. He said that one thing you must keep in mind is that many issues can often be resolved through dialogue if everyone comes together. Obviously, this is a stance that even the that the ICC rather are looking at keeping, because they have tried to engage in some degree of dialogue with the BCB, and from what we know are basically telling them that, look, whatever problems you have, we'll sort them, just come and play the tournament. But the BCB are saying, no, we're not going to come to India. The only issue we have is playing there, shift our matches to Sri Lanka. Obviously, there is diplomacy being tried at one end, but if the other side is choosing not to negotiate, then it might be a bit of a problem. And this perhaps puts his appeal into some kind of context where he's saying, resolve things through dialogue, let's not resort to threats. It's an interesting veiled message of sorts saying, listen, you have to consider what the future implications are and don't just do this right now because you're feeling a little hot under the collar. And I think that's a great, great way of looking at things. I totally understand why it is that the Indian side of things were doing what it is they're doing, even if I may not agree entirely with the manner in which it was done. Similarly, I do understand why it is that the Bangladesh side of things are doing what they're doing, but again, don't necessarily agree with the methodology being used. However, sometimes it takes cooler heads to prevail, to come together, have some sort of a discussion and meet in the middle. Right now, though, you're not seeing that happen, and one really hopes that the BCB heeds this advice, although it hasn't really gotten off to a good start, because we've already heard some people vilifying Tamim Iqbal, calling him an Indian agent, whatever that may be. Either which way, you can let us know in the comments below what your thoughts are on the matter, and don't forget, as always, to like this video, share it with your friends, friends, subscribe to the channel, tap that bell icon, follow us on social media too. We're on Instagram, X, and Facebook, and stay tuned for more such updates from the world of sport.